On April 14, 2026, the SEC finally tore down the $25,000 wall that has locked millions of retail traders out of the market for decades, replacing an archaic, punitive rule with a high-tech dynamic system that changes every single thing about how you access the stock market. If you have ever felt like the financial system was rigged against the little guy, you are not alone. Because for the last 25 years, there has been a very specific, very expensive gatekeeper standing in the way of every aspiring retail trader in America. It was called the pattern day trader rule, and it was born out of the wreckage of the dot-com bubble in 2001, when regulators decided that the only way to protect people from themselves was to make sure they had at least $25,000 in their account before they were allowed to make more than 3 trades in a week. But as of April 14th, 2026, that era is officially over. The Securities and Exchange Commission has granted accelerated approval to a massive regulatory overhaul known as SR FINRA 2025-017, which effectively dismantles the entire pattern day trader framework and throws the $25,000 minimum equity requirement into the trash bin of history. This isn't just a minor tweak to the rulebook, it is a fundamental restructuring of how risk is managed in the modern age. For decades, we lived under this blunt, threshold-based system where your ability to respond to the market was determined by the size of your bank account rather than the quality of your strategy. If you had $24,000, you were a dangerous amateur who needed to be restricted, but the moment you hit $25,001, you were suddenly a sophisticated trader granted the right to use 4-to-1 leverage. It was an arbitrary, wealth-based penalty that failed to reflect the reality of modern technology. But more importantly, it actually made the markets more dangerous for the very people it was supposed to protect. To understand why this is happening now, we have to look at the paradox that finally forced the SEC's hand. Regulators realized that by telling undercapitalized traders they couldn't close a 4th trade without getting their account locked for 90 days, they were actually forcing those traders to hold on to volatile, losing positions overnight. Think about that for a second. If you are in a trade that starts going south, the rational, safe thing to do is to sell it and cut your losses. But under the old rules, if that sell order was your 4th day trade, you would be banned from the market for 3 months. So, thousands of people would choose to hold that position through the night, praying for a miracle, only to wake up the next morning to a massive gap down and a total account blowout. The rule meant to serve as a protective guardrail had actually turned into a trap that amplified risk exponentially. It was a total inversion of regulatory intent. FINRA looked at the data from the consolidated audit trail and found that over 90% of retail accounts were executing 0-day trades, not because they didn't want to, but because they were terrified of accidentally triggering that 90-day freeze. The market was being suppressed by a psychological barrier that distorted price discovery and liquidity. Therefore, the new system moving forward isn't based on how much money you have, but on a real-time tick-by-tick assessment of the risk you are actually taking. Instead of a batch process check at the end of the day, we are moving to something called the intraday margin level. This is where it gets incredibly technical, but also incredibly exciting for the average investor. Your broker is now required to calculate your available buying power at the exact millisecond you try to place a trade, using the precise market pricing and equity available at that specific microsecond. They are no longer looking at what happened when the market closed yesterday. They are looking at what is happening right now. This shift aligns the rules with the nanosecond reality of high-frequency trading. But because the static $25,000 fence is gone, the regulators had to put something else in its place to prevent a systemic meltdown. And that something is proactive, algorithmically enforced pre-trade controls. Imagine the old rule was like a bouncer at a club who only checks your ID after you've already bought a round of drinks for the whole room, and if you're underage, he kicks you out for 3 months. The new rule is like a smart card that simply won't let you buy the drink if you don't have the funds or the right clearance. Under the new framework, broker-dealers are explicitly empowered and expected to use their own proprietary infrastructure to block trades before they ever reach the exchange if that trade would create a margin deficit. The broker becomes an impenetrable firewall. If you try to take a position that your account equity cannot support in real time, the system just says no. This proactive blocking ensures the account never assumes more risk than it can handle, which is a much more elegant solution than punishing someone after the damage is already done. But this isn't just about the brokers protecting themselves. It's about a massive transfer of risk management responsibility. Under the old PDT rule, the burden was on the individual to count their trades and manage their capital. Now, the burden is on the institutional framework. If a broker's pre-trade blocking mechanism fails and a client ends up with a deficit that they can't pay back within 5 days, the broker-dealer is legally required to deduct that exact amount from their own corporate net capital for up to 10 business days. This is the linchpin of the whole deal. It forces the massive brokerages to have a hyper-vigilant, continuously operating risk management posture, because if their customers lose money they don't have, the firm is the one that pays the price in the eyes of the regulators. So what does this mean for you if you're sitting there with a small account? Well, if your account was previously restricted or flagged as a pattern day trader and you were stuck in liquidate-only mode, those restrictions are legally lifted as soon as your broker adopts the new rules, provided you still meet the basic $2,000 margin minimum. That $2,000 floor is the only thing that hasn't changed. You still need that much to use leverage of any kind. But the most explosive part of this transition is going to be in the derivatives market, specifically with 0 days to expiration or 0 DTE options. These are contracts that expire on the same day you buy them, and they are notoriously volatile. In the old world, trading these was almost impossible for small accounts because every single trade was a day trade. Now, the floodgates are open. Retail traders can now engage in high-frequency scalping strategies using these instruments without the threat of a 90-day freeze. However, you have to realize that 0 DTE options are like ice cubes in the sun. They are melting the entire time you hold them. Because they have extreme gamma sensitivity and rapid theta decay, your entire investment can evaporate in minutes. And under the new rules, if you are in a position that is deteriorating rapidly, your broker has the absolute legally protected right to unilaterally liquidate your position before the end of the day to protect the integrity of the clearinghouse. We are entering a period of transition that will look a bit like a two-tier market for a while. The SEC has given the trading public a 12-month window to choose which standards they want to follow, while the institutional side has an 18-month grace period to get their technology up to speed. This has created a visible split between the old guard and the new tech brokers. Firms like Weibull and Interactive Brokers, which were built on modern code, have signaled that they are ready to drop the $25,000 requirement almost immediately. Meanwhile, the legacy giants like Charles Schwab have indicated they might need more time to overhaul their sprawling, batch-processed mainframes. This means the brokerage you choose over the next year is going to matter more than ever, as some will offer you total freedom while others are still stuck in the early 2000s. This entire modernization effort is part of a larger project called FINRA Forward, which is basically a massive spring cleaning of the rulebook. For years, the financial industry was governed by reaction-driven mandates that were meant to be temporary. The SEC's chief legal officer even noted that many of these old rules, like the analyst settlement restrictions from 2002, were never meant to last forever. They were blunt instruments used when we didn't have the math or the processing power to do anything better, but we have moved past that. We have seen the elimination of commissions, which removed the corrosive friction that used to drain small accounts. We have the consolidated audit trail providing granular data on every move the market makes. The regulatory consensus has shifted from wealth-based exclusionary tactics to a system where market access is determined by quantifiable solvency. But as we move into this new era of democratization, there is a lingering question about what happens when the next market-wide volatility event hits. By allowing everyone into the intraday pool, are we increasing systemic risk? The regulators don't think so. They argue that by allowing people to exit positions whenever they want, we are actually creating smoother liquidity and more efficient price discovery. When you force people to hold through the night, you create artificial pressure that explodes at the opening bell. When you allow people to trade freely, they can cut their losses early, preventing minor miscalculations from compounding into catastrophic failures. The move toward dynamic intraday margin is an admission that the old way was broken, but it also places a new level of personal responsibility on the individual trader. You no longer have the excuse of the PDT rule to stop you from overtrading. You only have your own strategy and your broker's real-time risk algorithm. Ultimately, the April 14th approval is a landmark victory for investor self-determination. It recognizes that financial mathematics works exactly the same whether you have $5,000 or $50,000. The era of the $25,000 wall is over, replaced by a world where the bouncer is an algorithm, the risk is calculated in microseconds, and your ability to trade is limited only by your actual solvency and the cold hard math of the market. It is a profound transformation that moves us toward a truly modernized financial ecosystem. But it also means the safety net has changed. The protection is no longer a mandatory wait period. The protection is a system that simply won't let you jump off the cliff in the first place. Whether that makes the market safer or just more accessible is a question that the next few years of trading will answer. But for now, the barrier is gone, and the market is finally open to everyone, all day, every day, regardless of the size of their balance. And hey, I hope this video helps you on your quest for profits. Catch you on the next one.